His Last Bow, 1917, Episode 2. The Red Circle. Welcome back, fellow detectives. After the moral complexities of pursuing the Tiger of San Pedro, you've seen how international intrigue complicates justice. Today we delve into the Italian anarchist movement that terrorized Europe in the early 1900s. Have you ever encountered a mystery where the victim refuses rescue, where protection feels like imprisonment? Prepare for a tale of love, loyalty, and the deadly reach of the Red Circle. Picture 221B Baker Street on a foggy 1902 evening. Holmes examines newspaper agony columns, cryptic personal messages, hiding desperate communications. Watson, look at this. The Red Circle is complete. Time grows short. Have patience. The Red Circle was a violent anarchist cell in Naples. If they're active in London, we may have trouble. Mrs. Hudson announces Mrs. Warren, a Bloomsbury landlady, distressed about her lodger. Mr. Holmes, my current lodger behaves so peculiarly. He's never left his rooms in 3 days. Takes no meals, refuses service, won't allow cleaning. Food disappears from my kitchen at night, and he watches the street constantly through drawn curtains, as if expecting someone. Holmes asks penetrating questions. Describe this gentleman, Mrs. Warren explains. Difficult, he wore a coat and hat pulled low indoors, but his hands were rough, calloused, workman's hands, not a gentleman's, yet he spoke with education. He paid a month's rent in advance in sovereigns. Think about this behavior: extreme reclusiveness, obsessive street surveillance, stealing food rather than accepting service, someone hiding from danger, watching for an expected visitor, or perhaps imprisoned, unable to leave. These rooms face the street, Holmes confirms. What can be seen? Mrs. Warren explains. The whole of Great Orme Street. There's a coffee shop opposite, frequented by Italians. My lodger watches that coffee shop constantly, especially evenings when it's busiest. Holmes's interest sharpens. Does he receive mail? Visitors? Mrs. Warren shakes her head. No visitors, but he's sent several letters. Always asks me to post them at different locations around London, and yesterday a candle appeared in his window. Just briefly, then gone. But I could swear it signaled, moving as if sending a message. Can you see the pattern? Someone in hiding, watching a specific location, sending coded signals, mailing letters from various points. This is surveillance while evading surveillance. But watching whom and why? Holmes and Watson position themselves opposite Mrs. Warren's house that evening. Hours pass until midnight, when a candle appears in the lodger's window, lit briefly, moved left, extinguished. Moments later, another candle responds from above the coffee shop. A dialogue in light. Holmes whispers. But what are they saying? Suddenly 3 men emerge from shadows near the coffee shop, moving with predatory purpose toward Mrs. Warren's house. They wear dark clothes, and one carries something long. Quickly, Watson! Holmes races across the street, but they're too late. The men smash through the door. They burst in to find chaos. Mrs. Warren, terrified, sounds of struggle upstairs. Holmes takes the stairs 3 at a time. The lodger's door is broken, and inside, a desperate fight rages. But the lodger is a woman. A young Italian woman in men's clothing, fighting with a poker against 3 attackers. Stop! In the name of the law! Watson shouts, revolver drawn. The attackers hesitate. One spits something in Italian and they flee. Holmes must choose. Pursue or help the victim. He chooses the woman who's collapsed, still clutching her weapon. It's all right, Holmes says in Italian. We're here to help. She looks up, tears of relief. Grazie, but I am not safe. I will never be safe as long as the Red Circle hunts me. Her English is accented but clear. My name is Emilia Luca. I am already dead. They always find those who betray the circle. Holmes helps her to a chair while Watson checks for injuries. Mrs. Luca, tell us everything. Who are these men? Why do they want you dead? Her story reveals political intrigue, desperate love, and terrorist violence. I am from Naples. My husband, Gennaro, was recruited by the Red Circle. They promised justice for the poor, but they were murderers hiding behind politics. Think about this trap. How many idealists join extremist organizations promising justice but delivering only violence? Gennaro wanted to leave, but the Circle doesn't release members. To leave is betrayal, meaning execution, not just of the traitor, but the entire family. We saved secretly for 2 years, finally having enough to flee to England, but the night before, the Circle discovered our plan. Holmes listens intently. So you fled separately? Emilia explains. I escaped hidden in a merchant ship. I arrived in London 3 weeks ago with nothing but the clothes I wore and a cafe address where Italians gather. I went there hoping for news of Gennaro. I found him. He works in the back room making furniture. But Red Circle agents watch the cafe constantly. Can you see the terrible dilemma? The lovers are across the street from each other, yet cannot meet because assassins watch constantly. Any woman visiting Gennaro would be investigated, so they devised candle signals, a desperate lifeline of light. The signals, Holmes asks, what do they mean? Emilia shows a simple code. 1, flash, I am well. 2, danger nearby. Left movement, stay hidden. Right, safe to meet. Crude but effective. Tonight, Gennaro signaled that assassins had arrived in London. He saw them enter the cafe asking about Italian arrivals. He warned me they'd search the neighborhood systematically, and he was right. Holmes's expression is grim. The Red Circle is more organized than you understood. They're checking every lodging systematically. Persistence would eventually expose you. Watson protests. Mrs. Luca cannot stay. They know this location, and her husband is equally vulnerable. Holmes formulates a bold plan. We extract both tonight. Watson, you and Mrs. Luca take a hansom cab, make a theatrical departure. The watchers will follow, or at least focus attention. Meanwhile, I'll enter the cafe from the rear and extract Gennaro. The plan executes smoothly initially. Watson and Emilia depart visibly and 2 watchers follow. But entering the cafe proves difficult. The back entrance is locked and possibly watched. Rather than force it, Holmes walks boldly through the front as a customer, ordering espresso in fluent Neapolitan accent. From this position, Holmes identifies Gennaro working in back, eyes constantly flicking toward the front window, watching for danger. Holmes writes a quick note in Italian. Your wife is safe with my associate. Meet me at the rear door in 5 minutes. Trust me, S.H. He palms it to Gennaro when clearing his table. Think about the courage required. Gennaro has spent weeks hiding, trusting no one. Now a British gentleman asks him to trust completely, but Holmes makes the candle signal with his hands. Only someone trusted by Emilia could know that. Gennaro nods imperceptibly. 5 minutes later, Gennaro emerges with his tools, appearing to simply leave work. But as they step into the alley, 3 figures appear at both ends. The Red Circle anticipated this move. Run! Gennaro shouts, but they're trapped. Mr. Holmes, a voice calls, accented English. Give us the traitor Luca, and you may leave unharmed. Refuse, and you die with him. The speaker steps into light, an older man with a scarred face, clearly the leader. Holmes stands his ground. I am Sherlock Holmes. I don't bargain with murderers. If you harm either of us, you'll face the full power of British law. You may rule Naples through terror, but this is London. The assassin laughs. We have killed in Rome, Paris, New York. What makes London safer? But then a police whistle shrieks and constables led by Inspector Gregson fill the alley. Nobody move! You're all under arrest! The red circle scatters but are tackled efficiently. At Scotland Yard, the Lucas are finally reunited, an emotional scene so intense even Holmes looks away. Gregson faces a bureaucratic challenge. Holmes, what do I charge them with? They broke into a lodging house, barely more than trespassing. Without evidence of murder in Britain, I can hold them days at most. Holmes has anticipated this. Contact Italian authorities. These men are wanted in Naples for murder, extortion, terrorism. Extradition treaties exist precisely for this. Let Italy deal with its own criminals. Gregson agrees and begins paperwork. But Holmes warns the Lucas. This won't end tonight. The Red Circle is vast, with cells throughout Europe. Even with these men arrested, others will continue hunting. You cannot return to Italy. You must disappear completely. New names, new lives, somewhere the Circle cannot reach. Gennaro understands. We will go to America, to New York, where thousands of Italians live. We will lose ourselves in crowds, become new people. Amelia adds softly, we will miss our homeland. But a life in exile together is better than death in the country we loved. Holmes arranges protection until passage to America is secured. Within a week, the Lucas sail for New York. And whatever future awaits, the Red Circle cell in London is broken, members arrested awaiting extradition, but the larger organization remains untouched. It's like fighting a hydra, Watson observes. Cut off one head, two more grow. Holmes nods wearily. Revolutionary violence from problems beyond any detective's power. We save individuals, arrest criminals, but ideologies persist. The Red Circle will recruit new members to replace those captured today. The final scene shows Holmes and Watson at the docks, watching the Lucas ship disappear. Will they be safe in America? Watson asks. Holmes is cautiously optimistic. Safer than anywhere else. America is vast, filled with immigrants reinventing themselves. If they're careful, avoid Italian neighborhoods where the Circle has influence. Yes, they'll survive. But they'll never truly be free, Holmes adds quietly. They'll spend their lives looking over shoulders, trusting no one completely. The Red Circle may never find them, but fear will haunt them forever. So, what lessons does the Red Circle case teach? That love can survive impossible odds, that justice systems struggle with international crime, that some evils are too large to ever fully defeat. The Red Circle remains in Naples, terrorizing southern Italy. But two people it marked for death now live in freedom, and that small victory must be enough. Note, this case showcases Holmes's multilingual skills and his willingness to risk personal danger to save innocent people from political terrorism. It also demonstrates the frustrating reality that international crime often escapes adequate punishment due to jurisdictional limitations.